So I got a little bit of a story time while I set up for this airsoft shoot. Also, my new car. I love this. Literally the same. Wait, if we go over here. Literally the same as my old one, just in gray. If you like something, you work with what sticks. Or you stick with what works. So, I recently got a new, what I thought was, airsoft gun sent to me. Turns out it was a kit being the golden words. So I go yesterday, receive it, and go to film an unboxing video and set up all the attachments and stuff. And as I'm unboxing it, I'm noticing that it's in pieces. And as I'm looking at the pieces, I'm noticing that there's a lot of core pieces missing. That's where I decided to actually read for once and found out that it's a kit, which is no biggie. I have parts everywhere. Now I just need to think of how to source these parts to actually build out this kit. I have a couple of options because I have a lot of gas blowbacks that I'm not using, so luckily there's a lot of parts to it. But as you can see from my history, if you look back on the channel, I buy some weird stuff, so parts might not fit. Parts might not fit the way I intended for them to. So first off, I have a GMP MWS that I don't get much playtime with, so I decided to strip the parts from that. I took the body pins, grip, dust cover, all that jazz, and buffer tube, buffer spring that comes into play later from the GMP MWS, throw it onto this new kit. So I take the body pins, buffer tube, buffer spring, all that jazz, take it out of the GMP, throw it onto this new kit, and I decided, had a little pause there, and I decided to use this Modify Airsoft 2-stage trigger because it looks really good, like really good. I love the way it looks, and I haven't had the build to put it in yet, so why not start with a build that's from scratch? So, after I got that all in, I have the trigger box in there, I have all the body pins put in, the buffer tube, buffer spring, and yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point the lower is completely put together. Move on to the upper. Look at the upper and go, you know what? I need a hop-up unit. So go to take the GMP hop-up unit out. Should have looked at this beforehand because I removed the outer barrel, the handguard, all that jazz to get to the barrel hop-up part. Remove that. Then I go for the actual hop adjustment part itself and realize that it's the TDC style that has a screw that goes vertically rather than through the gas block. Not gonna fit because this one needs one that goes through the gas block. So that whole barrel setup is now scrapped. Actually, I need this back. So with that scrapped, I have a couple more options. I have the Toxicant that I can now take parts from. I have the Guns Modify 416 that I can take parts from. Ultimately, don't want to touch the Toxicant because that's a little more difficult to get to the hop-up unit. So I take apart the 416, grab its hop-up unit and barrel from that one and put it into the new setup. Yeah. So with all that taken care of, we finally have an air vent. Finally have almost a working gas blowback. Take the bolt out of the Ghetto Blaster because, you know, that bolt's set up for the Modify's 2-stage trigger. And we get to our first test shot. Grabbing a few targets from the pile here. That's too many. We'll grab this many. Nice. Go for my first test shot, and it performs absolutely dookie, bad, poor. Don't have any more adjectives to describe this without getting demonetized. I actually am so disappointed in the 2-stage trigger. It looks so cool, but no matter what I put it in, it does not work. So we gotta think of a new trigger box option. You would think the option would be, you know, use the GMP trigger box, but actually I guess the first option should have been use the Guns modified trigger box, but I don't think too much. But I first thought use the GMP one, but I noticed that the bolt on the GMP is slightly different from most Marui trigger boxes. We're gonna walk over here real quick. So I don't want to use that one. I'm a little hesitant on using that one. Instead, you know, I went with the GMP trigger box, but if you know about a 416, you know it has an ambidextrous bolt release that's not going to fit onto this receiver. We will slide this back here like this. There we go. I need a new thing. Luckily, it's still an MWS trigger box, so I just take the bolt release from the Modify Airsoft trigger box because I just love that bronze color that's on it. It just looks so good. And I put it on there with the Z plate and everything. We finally have a completed gas blowback. Go to take my first test shot and the bolt locks to the rear. Whether there's BBs in it or it's empty, it gets locked to the rear. And not only does it get locked to the rear, it gets stuck back there. Like, even when I hit the bolt release, it doesn't return forward. Why is that? So, we take it apart one more time. I hope one more time. And we notice that when you hit the bolt release down, the ZEP plate actually goes past the bolt release and gets locked. It gets stuck there. Okay, nice, easy fix. We then switch out the bolt release from the Modify Airsoft one to the GMP bolt release. And you know, I think that's gonna solve the problem. So we go and we do some more test firing. How am I gonna position these? Cleared out land, so we got more space here. So, as I walk and talk, we do our next test fire. Bolt still locks back to the rear, which is interesting. If we think of how a bolt works for a gas blowback, it works very much similar to a real firearm. When you press the trigger, a little pin indents onto the mag, which, you know, shoots gas up through the bolt and the nozzle, propelling the BB forward. The excess energy is then used to drive the bolt back, goes into the buffer tube where it's compressed by the recoil spring and whatnot. There's a spider web on me, gross. Recoil spring and whatnot. And when that kinetic energy reaches its max, it then uncompresses the spring, driving the bolt back forward. But we can pause there because I think I know what the problem is. The problem is that the bolt is actually going so far into the buffer tube, it's getting caught up back here. So to fix that, we got to think of some options. One, it could be a am I having a stroke? Holy shit. Just kidding. Weak recoil spring. That actually scared me for a second. I could not think for a second. A weak recoil spring, which means, am I having a panic attack now? That annoying plane that just flew overhead, godsend. It's so good to clear your mind when all you just do is hear the birds and the plane and the wind and eases you. Where was I? Weak recoil spring. Yeah, so we got a few options with the weak recoil spring, potentially, or a short, we need a longer buffer. just right off the bat thinking, I was like, well, we're using a guns modify trigger box and hop-up unit and everything else. Why don't we just use the guns modify buffer, spring, and buffer, and that fixed it, potentially. Or not potentially, it fixed it. So with all that, we did some test firing at home. Everything was sounding and looking good. So now we're here at the range to see if it performs good. And this is it, fully put together right here. I'm actually loving it. This is like a modern take on a classic firearm. Ugh. This is the ACETAC kit. Is it ACETAC? I think it's ACETAC. ACETAC's kit for the Noveske chainsaw. And let's just kind of go over all the parts that we sourced for it. Let's see, starting from butt to tip, we have the Delta stock, actually, from a Lancer Tactical Gen 3. We have the buffer tube and nut from the Strike Industries MWS. We have the grip from the Strike Industries MWS. We have the retaining pins from the Strike Industries MWS, and we have the dust cover from the Strike Industries MWS. I am reluctant to open it up because of YouTube, but we can show the bolt here. Oh, we also have the charging handle from the Strike Industries MWS. Showing the bolt here, we have the Noveske bolt from the Ghetto Blaster. Whoa! Ghetto Blaster right here. We have the mag release from, what is this mag release from? Oh, mag release from the 416. Love it because it's now an ambi mag release. And we have the bolt release from the Strike Industries NWS. Let's see. Inside we have the trigger box from the Guns Modify MWS. And we have the hop-up unit from the Guns Modify MWS. Inside we have the buffer spring and buffer from the Guns Modify MWS, and the barrel is some barrel. I have no clue what barrel it is, but it fit. Triggers from the MCX. Actually really like it. Only problem is I don't have the other half to the ambi side of it, which is fine. I'm not that much worried about it, but this was a build. Oh, also trigger guard, Strike Industries MWS. Let's get this in frame. This was a build. This was a build of all builds. I had fun doing it. It was a bit of a challenge building something from scratch, because what you might not all know is there's tiny little springs and detents that keep every piece of this together, and with no tutorial on how to do this, I just kind of eyeballed it and I somehow got it all right. Some additional cosmetic features. We have the QD flashlight that I'm actually starting to love now. Kinetic Concepts, I think. QD flash Picatinny mount right there. It keeps it pretty snug, just a little bit of wobble. We have the Strike Industries Universal Blast Shield. This camera's probably wobbling the whole time. I'm gonna have to stabilize that in post. And then on top we have a generic carry handle Picatinny mount with the AT3 tactical red dot. So now that we're all done with that, we're gonna continue setting up and see how this performs against the GB. Missed that. Got it. We're getting quicker. Nice, nice, nice. Let's see that. From this close, I shouldn't miss. It's just about transitioning quicker. We can move this back after a little warm up. Switch these two out. And we'll go for this target from the longer distance. See if we can still get under time. Ooh, just barely. Just barely. Let's try some 3 taps. Got it. I think I start drifting off to the left there. Yeah. Only one Charlie from all that, but I was starting to drift off to the left on these. Let's move this. So we're going into the 3 taps. Let's bring this one out. We got it in time. Got a little slow there, but we got it. Ooh, lower. Got it. Got it. Go drill. Got it. I'm gonna do this consistent. Okay. See how quickly we can get this done. One more time. I love that drill. Not my fastest time, but it is what it is. Yeah, I just solidified it. New favorite rifle right there. Absolutely love it. It's hot. I'm going home.